Okay, so we're going to look at how we put the data in for the EHC service. So from the Services tab, I clicked on EHC patient registration and I've come to this screen here. I have to tick to say that the patient is happy to consent to sharing the data. If we don't have that tick there, you'll see the rest greys out and you're not able to add any data. So we'll go start and type the name in. Again, it will search your database, and if this patient has been before, you will get a drop down list to choose from. It's a new patient, so we're going to just pop them in there. The date of birth for this patient, I don't think they were born in 1900. We'll go to 1994. We'll just make it up as we go along. 1st of March 1994. You get asked about ethnicity. You can enter that, or if they'd prefer not to say, you can pop that in, and then the postcode will be on here. And if you have a look, okay then, so I just saved that patient registration. As soon as I clicked the save button, we went back to the services page, so that home page for services, and then I have chosen the EHC consultation and supply module, and we're back to putting in the pharmacist name. So you can check if you're already registered for delivering the service, then you just click on it, otherwise you do the enrolment. Again, live recording is always what we need to do wherever we can, but if not, we can change the date if we need to. We need to check the patient name, so we'll start and type it here. If the patient comes up, that's great. If the patient isn't on, you've got this link which would take you back to the registration module so that you can add your patient. But in fact, we have got our patient here, and we can click on that so that all of the details are there. First thing it asks is our client age, so we'll say 17, and yes, they're registered with the GP. Does the patient mind, or the client mind, if we let their GP know, and they can say yes or no to that, so we'll put no onto that one. You are required to do a child sexual exploitation risk evaluation. So if the patient is under 18, I apologise, ours is 17, you would need to run through these questions. So have you ever stayed out overnight or longer? If you say yes to any of these, then you get this red box warning that there might be a risk there. If you say no, and there we go, then that box doesn't come up. And also you will be asked if you've got any safeguarding concerns for this client. I'm going to say no here. The reason for the request, so just click whichever one's relevant. How long it is since the unprotected sex, so we'll have it this one. We just ask whether alcohol was involved or drugs, and we can say yes, no, or prefer not to say. So whatever the client says, that's absolutely fine. Is it a second dose because of vomiting? And then a fairly new addition is asking if the client weighs over 70 kilograms or is the BMI greater than 26. How you answer this question will change which are the next questions. So if you say no, it will carry on. If it says yes, then further down the module you will get some different options. So already the module is helping you decide whether it's going to be levonorgestrel or ulipristal that the patient needs. Need to say how long the normal cycle length is. I'll put 30 in here, though not all ladies have regular cycles, as we know. The date of the last period, so if it was last month, you can change the date there, so we'll just put that one in, and that works out where it is in the cycle. So that's fairly mid-cycle to me. Was the last period abnormal? No. Any other unprotected intercourse without contraception since the last period? We'll say no. We then have this explanation of the various treatment options. It's worth highlighting here that the copper coil is always the most efficient and form of emergency contraception, so it's important that you explain that to the person, and then you can refer for a copper coil, and they can either accept or decline that referral. Even if they accept the referral, it is okay to still give EHC, because it might be that they don't get their appointment quickly enough, so it's still better to have the EHC. But if you are going to refer on, then you get that and you say yes, and then you can say where you're going to refer them on to, any information there. Please don't put any patient identifiable data in here, because when the commissioner downloads the spreadsheet of all the service provisions, anything typed in here will show up on the spreadsheet. So if you've put the patient's name, then you've breached confidentiality there. So now we just have a little look at the consent and inclusion. So the consent to accept hormonal contraception is here so that we continue. Now, if you remember, I'm going to sweep back up the screen again. We said that this person weighed over 70 kilograms, so that automatically would mean that they need to receive ulipristal. Also, because it's mid-cycle, then it's more likely to be effective, so it would come to ulipristal. So what we've got now are the exclusions for ulipristal, so you need to run through these, see if any apply. If none apply, you would keep going, and then it would say that you were going to supply the product. It would ask the batch number and the expiry date, which you need to pop in here. We then have a list of the counselling points, and you just have to say, yes, I've done all of that. We ask the client why they came to the pharmacy and record that, and then you would press the save button, and when you do that, you will get a message come up to tell you if the referral to the GP has been successful. If it's all gone through, you will go straight back to the services screen and you'll know that that is all done.